Good morning everyone. Basa na ng Bible guys. Ang totoong araw ngayon is March 14, 2021. So batiin muna natin ang anak ko. Happy birthday anak, Daryl. Nanay, love you so much. More God blessings to come. God bless. Ang babasahin natin guys is ngayon, pang March 23 natin, advance tayo. Joshua 13, 14, and 15. And Luke chapter 1 verse 57 to 80. Basa. The tribes received their land. Land is still to be taken. When Joshua was old and well advanced in years, the Lord said to him, "You are very old, and there are still very large area of land to be taken over." Grabe naman. Huwag na kayo manguha ng lupa ng may lupa. This is the land that remains all the regions of the Philistines and Geshurites from the Sihor River on the east of Egypt to the territory of Ekron on the north. All of it counted as Canaanite, the territory of the 5 Philistine rulers, and Gaza, Ashdod, Ashkelon, Gath, and Ekron, that of the Evites. From the south, all the land of the Canaanites from Era of the Sidonians, as far as Ephek, the region of the Amorites, the area of the Gibeonites, and all Lebanon to the east, from Baal Gad below Mount Hermon to Lebo Hamath. As for all the inhabitants of the mountain regions, from Lebanon to Misrephoth Mem, that is all the Sidonians, I myself will drive them out before the Israelites. Be sure to allocate this land to Israel for an inheritance as I have instructed you, and divide it as an inheritance among the 9 tribes and half of the tribe of Manasseh. Division of the land east of the Jordan. The other half of Manasseh, the Reubenites and the Gadites, had received the inheritance that Moses had given them east of the Jordan, as he, the servant of the Lord, had assigned it to them. It extended from Aroer on the rim of the Arnon Gorge, and from the town in the middle of the gorge, and included the whole plateau of Medeba as far as Dibon, and all the towns of Sihon king of the Amorites who rolled in Heshbon out of the order of the Ammonites. It also included Gilead, the territory of the people of Geshur, and Mecca, all of Mount Hermon, and all Bashan as far as Salika. That is the whole kingdom of Og in Bashan, who had reigned in Ashtaroth and Edrei, and had survived as one of the last of the Rephaites. Moses had defeated them and taken over their land, but the Israelites did not drive out the people of Geshur and Mecca, so they continue to live among the Israelites to this day. Paano po pag binawi yan sa inyo ngayon, sa generation namin? Kasi pag nabasa nila to, pag binawi nila sa inyo yan, giyera na naman. But the tribe of Levi, he gave no inheritance, since the offerings made by fire to the Lord, the God of Israel, are their inheritance as he promised them. This is what Moses had given to the tribe of Reuben, clan by clan, the territory from Aroer on the rim of the Arnon Gorge, and from the town in the middle of the gorge, and the whole plateau past Medeba to Heshbon, and all its towns on the plateau, including Dibon, Bamoth, Baal, Beth Baal Meon, Jehaz, Kedemoth, Mepat, Kiriatim, Sibma, Seret, Shahar, on the hill in the valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pisgah, and Beth Jeshimoth, all the towns on the plateau and the entire realm of Sihon king of the Amorites hurled at Heshbon. Moses had defeated him, and the Midianite chiefs Eberekim, Zor, Har, and Reba, princes allied with Sihon who lived in that country. In addition to those slain in battle, the Israelites had put to the sword Balaam, son of Beor, who practiced divination. The boundary of the Reubenites has the bank of the Jordan. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the Reubenites clan by clan. This is what Moses had given to the tribe of Gad clan by clan, the territory of Jazer, all the towns of Gilead, and half the Ammonite country as far as Aroer near Reba, and from Heshbon to Remath, Mizpah, and Bethlehem, and from Mahanaim to the territory of Debir, and in the valley Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, and Ziphon, with the rest of the realm of Sihon, king of Heshbon, the east side of the Jordan, the territory up to the end of the Sea of Kinnereth. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the Gadites clan by clan. This is what Moses had given to the half-tribe of Manasseh, that is to half the family of the descendants of Manasseh, clan by clan. The territory extending from Mahanaim and including all of Bashan, the entire realm of king of Bashan, all the settlements of Jordan, in Bashan 60 towns, half of Gilead and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, the real cities of Og in Bashan. This was for the descendants of Machir, son of Manasseh, for half the sons of Machir clan by clan. This is the inheritance Moses had given when he was in the plains of Moab across the Jordan, east of Jericho. But to the tribe of Levi, Moses had given no inheritance, the Lord the God of Israel, in their inheritance as he promised them. Yun nga eh. Ba't walang si Levi? Kasi daw yung alam mo yung yung sa church, guys. Yun ang para kay Levi. Yung mga offerings. Sa chapter 14 na tayo. Division of the land west of the Jordan. Now, these are the areas of Israelites received as an inheritance in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the tribal clans of Israel allotted to them. Their inheritance were assigned by lot to the 9.5 tribes, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. Moses had granted the 2.5 tribes their inheritance east of the Jordan, but had not granted the Levites an inheritance among the rest, for the sons of Joseph had become 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim. The Levites received no share of the land, but only towns to live in, with pasture lands for their flocks and herds. So the Israelites divided the land, just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Hebron given to Caleb. Now the men of Judah approached Joshua at Gilgal, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, said to him, "You know what the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, at Kadesh Barnea, about you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to explore the land, and I brought him back a report according to my convictions. But my brothers who went up with me made the heart of the people melt with fear. I, however, followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly. So on that day Moses swore to me, the land on which your feet have walked will be your inheritance, and that of your children forever, because you have followed the Lord my God wholeheartedly." Yung men of Judah. Now, now then, just as the Lord promised, He has kept me alive for 45 years since the time He said this to Moses, while Israel moved about in the desert. So here I am today, 85 years old. I am still as strong today as the day Moses sent me out. I am just as vigorous to go out to battle now as I was then. Now give me 85 years old, guys. Now give me this now give me this hill country that the Lord promised me that day. You yourself heard then that the Anakites were there and their cities were large and fortified, but the Lord helping me, I will drive them out, just as He said. Then Joshua blessed Caleb, son of Jephunneh. Oh, si Caleb pala. Then Joshua blessed Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and gave him Hebron as his inheritance. So Hebron has belonged to Caleb, son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite, ever since, because he followed the Lord, the God of Israel, wholeheartedly. Hebron used to be called Kiryat Arba, after Arba, who was the greatest man among the Anakites. Then the land had rest from war. Nakapagpahinga rin sila sa gera, guys. Alam mo kasi pagkalupa talaga, ang gulo-gulo ng usapin. Oh, pagkaangkinan na ng lupa. Allotment for Judah. The allotment for the tribe of Judah, clan by clan, extended down to the territory of Edom, to the desert of Zin in the extreme south. Their southern boundary started from the bay at the southern end of the Salt Sea, crossed south of Scorpion Pass, continued on the Zin, and went over to the south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it ran past Hezron up to Eder and curved around to Karka. It then passed along to Asmon and joined the Wadi of Egypt, ending at the sea. This is their southern boundary. The eastern boundary is the Salt Sea as far as the mouth of the Jordan. The northern boundary started from the bay of the sea of the mouth of the Jordan, went up to Beth Hogla, and continued north of Beth Ariba, the stone of Bohan, son of Reuben. The boundary then went up to Debir from the valley of Achor, and turned north to Gilgal, which faces the pass of Adumim, south of the gorge. It continued along to the waters of En-Shemesh and came out at in Rogel. Then it ran up the valley of Ben Hinnom along the southern slope of the Jebusite city, that is Jerusalem. From there it climbed to the top of the hill west of the Hinnom Valley, at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. From the hilltop the boundary headed toward the spring of the waters of Nephtoah, came out at the towns of Mount Ephron, and went down toward Bala, that is Kiriath Jearim. Then it curved westward from Bala to Mount. Intindihin pa ba natin to, guys? Hindi naman to para sa atin. Mga naghahati-hati na sila ng lupa. Then it curved westward from Bala to Mount Seir, ran along the northern slope of Mount Jearim, that is Kisalon, continued down to Beth-Shemesh and crossed to Timnah. It went to the northern slope of Ekron, turned toward Shikkeron, passed along to Mount Bala, and reached Jabnel. The boundary ended at the sea. The western boundary is the coastline of the Great Sea. These are the boundaries around the people of Judah by their clans. In accordance with the Lord's command to him, Joshua gave to Caleb son of Jephunneh a portion in Judah, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. Arba was the forefather of Anak. From Hebron, Caleb drove out the three Anakites, Shishai, Ahiman, and Talmai, descendants of Anak. From there he marched against the people living in the Beer, formerly called Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, I will give my daughter Achsah in marriage to the man who attacks and captures Kiriath Sepher. Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's brother, took it, so Caleb gave his daughter Achsah to him in marriage. O, sabi na magpipinsan lang sila guys. So, Othniel, son of Kenaz, Caleb's brother, took it, so Caleb gave his daughter Achsah to him in marriage. So si Othniel saka si Achsah nag-asawa. Magpinsan sila. Kasi si Kenaz is Caleb's brother. One day, when she came to Othniel, she urged him to ask her father for a field. When she got off her donkey, Caleb asked her, What can I do for you? She replied, Do me a special favor, since you have given me a land in Negev. Give me also springs of water. So Caleb gave her the upper and lower springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of Judah, clan by clan. The southernmost towns of the tribe of Judah in the Negev toward the boundary of Edom were Kabzeel, Eder, Jakor, Kina, Dimana, Edada, Kedesh, Hazor, Idnan, Ziph, Talem, Beloth. Ang dami. Hazor had Kiriath Hezron, that is Hazor, Emam, Shema, Molada, Hazor, Geda, Ismon, Beth-Pelet, Hazar, Shual, Beersheba, Beshutah, Bala, Izim, Eltod, Gizon, Hormah, Siklab. Buhay pa kaya itong mga towns na mga villages na to? Up sa generation natin ngayon guys Shual, Beersheba, Beshutah, Bala, Izim, Itolad, Gizon, Hormah, Siklab, Madmana, Sansana, Lebaoth, Shilhib, and Rimon, a total of 29 towns under villages. Kasi sa panahon natin ngayon, sa generation natin ngayon, mga pinapalitan na ang pangalan, diba? Sa nila kaya, same pa rin kaya up to now. In the western foothills is told Zora, Asna, Sanoa, and Ganim, Tapua, Enam, Zarmut, Adulam, Soko, Azika, Sharim, Etam, and Gedera, or Giderotem, 14 towns under villages. So western foothills yun. Sinan, Hadashan, Migdalgad, Delin, Mispa, Jokto, Lakshis, Buskat. Kita mo naman mga, guys, ang hirap bigkasin. Eglon, Kobon, Lasmus, Kitlis, Gideros, Bet, Dagon, Nama, and Mekede, 16 towns under villages. Libna, Ether, Ashan, Ipta, Esna, Nitzib, Kila, Akzib, and Marisha, 9 towns and their villages. Ekron with its surrounding settlements and villages. West of Ekron, all that were in the vicinity of Asdod, together with their villages, Asdod, its surrounding settlements and villages, and Gaza, its settlements and villages as far as the Wadi of Egypt and the coastline of the Great Sea. In the hill country, Shamer, Jater, Soko, Dena, Kiriath, Sena, that is Dibir, Enab, Estimo, Enem, Goshen, Holon, and Gilo, 11 towns and their villages. Arab, Duma, Ishan, Janim, Beth, Tapua, Apika, Humta, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron, and Zior, 9 towns and their villages. Maon, Carmel, Sif, Judah, Jezreel. Sorry guys, sa 56, ang hirap bigkasin eh. Jezreel, Jokdim, Janoah, Ken, Gibe, and Timna, 10 towns and their villages. Halhol, Bedzor, Gedor, Maarat, Beth, Anat, and Eltikon, 6 towns and their villages. Kiryat Baal, that is Kiryat Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 towns and their villages. Si Rabbah, ito yung nag-hide sa mga ano, diba? Sa mga spies. Tama ba ako? Ewan, I forgot na the name eh. And the desert with Arba within Sikka, Nibsha, the city of salt and Engedi, 6 towns and their villages. Judah could not dislodge the Jebusites who were living in Jerusalem to this day. Judah could not dislodge the Jebusites who were living in Jerusalem to this day. Jebusites lived there with the people of Judah. Kung sila po ang dating nakatira dyan, pag binawi sa inyo yan, hindi na naman. Lipat na tayo sa Luke. Malapit na tayo magkalahating taon sa pagbabasa. walang absent yan guys. Kahit pa wala tayong boses minsan, basa pa rin. Kasi pwede naman sa mata. Ang hirap naman anahin ito eh. Manipis kasi. Pag mo ulit kayo ng Bible, kapag kapalan niyo naman ng konti. Ang hirap ilipat. Luke, verse 1, 56 to, 57 to 80. Saan? Sorry. 57 to 80. Basa. Mga March 23, 2021. Luke, verse 1, 57 to 80. Inom muna tayo topic guys, nalalamunan ko. John the Baptist is born. When it was time for Elizabeth to have her baby, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown her great mercy, and they shared her joy. On the 8th day, they came to circumcise the child. Tama guys. Isi-circumcise talaga pagka 8 days. The child, and they were going to name him after his father Zechariah, but his mother spoke up and said, "No, he is to be called John." They said to her, "There is no one among your relatives who has that name." Then they made signs to his father to find out what he would like to name the child. He asked for a writing tablet, and to everyone's astonishment, he wrote, "His name is John." Immediately his mouth was opened and his tongue was loosed, And he began to speak, praising God. The neighbors were all filled with awe. And throughout the whole country of Judea, people were talking about all these things. Everyone who heard this wondered about it, asking, What then is this child going to be? For the Lord's hand was with him. Zechariah's prophecy. His father Zechariah was filled with the Holy Spirit and prophesied, Praise to be the Lord, the God of Israel, because he has come and has redeemed his people. He has raised up a horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David, as he said through his holy prophets of long ago, salvation from our enemies and from the hand of all who hate us, to show mercy to our fathers and to remember his holy covenant, the oath he swore to our father Abraham, to rescue us from the hand of our enemies and to enable us to serve him without fear, in holiness and righteousness before him all our days. And you, my child, will be called prophet of the Most High. Oh, prophet of the Most High, for you will go on before the Lord to prepare the way for him, to give his people the knowledge of salvation through the forgiveness of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, by which the rising sun will come to us from heaven. To send of... So, yung New Testament, guys, nagbabasa rin ng Old Testament. Kaya nakalagay dito yung ano ni Zechariah. I knew my child will be called the prophet of the Most High. Ulitin ko lang yung verse 76 ha. I knew my child will be called the prophet of the Most High. For you will go on before the Lord to prepare the way for him, to give his people the knowledge of salvation through the forgiveness of their sins, because the tender mercy of our God, by which the rising sun will come to us from heaven, to shine on those living in darkness and in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the path of peace. And the child grew and became strong in the spirit, and he lived in the desert until he appeared publicly to Israel. So yun guys, si John is the prophet. Si John the Baptist. Pero pinugutan siya ng ulo, diba? Bye everyone. God bless.